All right, hi. Welcome to another video of the Target Individual Program, Target Individual Experience. So last night I got a call from Pam. Um, she said that Alyssa said that she swallowed a grape, right? And she said that Ethan, her brother, distracted her and she swallowed a grape. So Pam called me and I'm like, okay. I said, you're the nurse. You know, is she okay? And of course she was breathing anything like that. So it was, it was very stuck down in her esophagus. It wasn't blocking her airway. So she was crying, such and such. But of course, um, as I'm talking to Pam, and I'm just like, listen, I said, she knows better than to put a whole grape in her mouth. She should not be, and she usually, because she went, probably went into the fridge to this. What our assumption is to take grapes because we never give her. Uh, we always tell her don't eat no grapes when no adult is around. Okay. And I always tell her, you bite into grapes. You don't swallow, put a whole grape in your mouth. Particularly, for kids, you don't give them whole grapes. Even though she's 9 years old, but we still tell her to always bite the grapes, bite it in half. Because kids, okay, and I know my kids, particularly her. So anyhow, so I'm telling Pam, I'm like, well, you are the nurse, okay? You look at her, uh, just do an overall examination. You're a nurse. So so anyways, I got a little pissed off at her because she's one of those women that they don't want to take accountability, right? She's like, well, I'm trying to, but she won't let me this and that. She like to do things her own way. I said, well, whose fault is that? Okay, whose fault is that? I said, you're the one that created her mindset, right? I said, how many times, when I put her in her school clothes, she didn't want to wear it. She's crying, what have you. I said, I take her to school. She goes to school crying with her school clothes. She's supposed to wear school clothes. I said, when I'm not there, you put her school clothes on. She's crying. You make her take it off, and you let her wear what she want to wear. Now she didn't want to wear her school uniform. I said, that's on you. But of course she doesn't want to accept that and even acknowledge that because she just said like I just can't with her, so I don't. I said, well, there you go. I said, because the fact that you don't want to deal with her, right? You don't want to correct her. You don't want to address the issue. I said, she's trained you how to be the parent that she wants you to be, instead of you training the child to be the type of child you want them to be, right? I said, so what we have here is a reversal, and that's with both kids. I said, with me, when they're with me, they're totally different because I train them to be the type of children that I want them to be. Okay, they don't train me. Children don't train parents. Parents train the children. Okay, because of our life experiences. So what we do, we know what's right, what's wrong. We know what's good, what's bad, right? But today, these modern women, because again, they're all about their fun and leisure. They want, as soon as they like I said, they use children, particularly babies, as an accessory to get attention. To get attention. All right? So it's like that's what it is. Children are a fashion statement when they're young, cute, you know. They get the attention, the mothers get the attention also. And they love that. But when it's time for these children grow up, it's time to get them into school, to do what you need to do to get them to school, all of a sudden, they can't be bothered. So anyway, so I called her this morning to check to see if Alyssa's okay. She's like, I'm taking Alyssa with me to work, because I'm gonna have take her to the emergency room. Okay, so she took her to and again, my daughter is lying. And I mean, I tell her, I say, well, who she get it from, you know, and somehow they don't seem to, these a lot of these women, and I'm not speaking to all women, okay, not all black women, but the majority of these Negro European women, um, they lie. They have been conditioned into lying about every damn thing, right? Because they figure, well, men lie. Well, I'm a lie. Where no, men will tell you the truth. You just don't listen. You just refuse to listen. The same thing I told her last night. I said, you just refuse to listen to me, right? Because whatever for whatever reason, I said, but I've never given you wrong advice. I've never steered you wrong. I said, even she always tell me, she's like, I was going to give you something tonight, but the fact that you said what you said, I'm like, listen, I'd rather tell you the truth. So what? You want to give me no sex? What have you? I'm not going to lie to get it from you. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. All right. That's not how I am as a partner. Because as a partner, you're supposed to see the the deficiency in each other and correct it, right? And help build each other up. That's what you're supposed to do. You know, if I tell you lie and you go out there and you engage in negative behavior and I keep lying to you like it's okay, and this is what the majority of us do. We do this to our children. We do this to each other, particularly women. Women don't hold each other accountable, right? They don't hold each other accountable at all. Okay, and there's a lot that has to do with competition and how their life didn't turn out the way they expected, so they don't want other women's life to turn out better. Crab in a barrel mentality. So they examine Alyssa, and they see that she has a coin, right, stuck in her esophagus, in her throat. So now they have to, and I've told her this child so many times, stop putting things. I said the only thing that goes in your mouth is food, water, drinks, juice, what have you. Anything that you can that is considered, I wouldn't even say nutritious, but you have your snacks, you have your potato chips, your cookies, all that stuff, right? I said, but anything else don't go in your food, okay? Coins, whether it be dimes, nickels, pennies. Well, she don't. I've taught her from a long time ago, don't ever touch pennies, because pennies they're made of copper, right? And you always, if you ever hold pennies in your hand and you smell your hand afterwards, it has a smell to it, right? Because again, copper will leave residue on your hand. Okay, and for kids, playing with coins, particularly pennies, and putting hands in the mouth, it could be dangerous. So she don't ever touch pennies. She knows that. All right, but the reason why I keep telling Pam, I said the reason why she's behaving the way she's behaving is because you don't give her attention. You don't, you leave these kids by themselves practically the entire day while you go out and date, living it up, having fun. You left them by themselves the entire night, and it's like nothing to you. Anything can happen. Okay, anything can happen. They could have been a fire in the building, anything. Because they love to take risk, right? And they'll put their own children at risk over their leisure and their fun. Okay, and no one can hold them accountable. But if you being a black man or a nigger man was to do that, right? They're calling child protective services on your ass. They're putting you in jail. But this is how white supremacy has created within the mindset of Negro women that they can do whatever they want. And they will not be held accountable. But that's not true. That is the trap that they lay in front of them. Just like they try to lay many traps in front of me, promising me money and this and that. No, no, thank you. Okay. And again, that's because when you're blind to a lot of stuff because of how you're conditioned, and when the people around you is also conditioned a certain way, right? They're conditioned to tell you what you want to hear because they love to hear what they want to hear, right? So, so I told her, I said, listen, they don't know if when they're gonna have to operate on her to get this corner or what have you. So I told her, I said, listen, let me know what they decide, and then I'll be on my way because I'm not running up there and next thing you know I'm being pulled left and right. Because I know, like I said, I've been through this stuff so many times. I mean, not this situation, but in terms of, she's like they can't decide what hospital to do to operate her on. I'm just like, well, you know what? I'm not going to be up there all day, and then all of a sudden, they're going to take their time because that's how they are. Particularly as being a TI, I know how they think. Like I said, my experience has taught me. Okay, I didn't just experience what I'm experiencing and don't think about things. That's why I do research. I study how they target me, right? I study the tactics, the methods. I see the patterns, right? And for example, she was calling me from the hospital phone. I didn't recognize the number, so I didn't pick up. When she called me from her phone, she called me twice from her phone. My phone didn't even ring. When I call her back, her phone don't ring. And like I said, I've been through this already. I was speaking to my mother had called me. When was it? Sunday? Because I called her. I called her earlier during the day. She didn't pick up, right? So I guess she was probably, I don't know where she was anyway. But anyway, then I got a phone call from her again at around 10 something at night. So I answered, right? And I can hear her in the background and a lot of noise. So I said, okay, I know she was in church. Again, my mother very religious. She's Caribbean Baptist, and they'll spend the entire day in church. Okay, this is like I said, when I grew up and I had kids, I said, no, I'm not putting my kids through that. I'm talking about 6 to 8 hours in church. Okay, so she called me back like I think it was like after midnight. All right, or was it the next day? Can't remember. Might have been the next day anyhow. So I said to her, I said, no. I said I called you because you called me. But then when I answered, I just heard your voice in the background. She was like, well, I don't know. She's like, I always turn my phone off in my bag, right? But then again, I knew it was them, because they've done this before, where they've actually turned on people's phone, right? Have their phone call me, and again, this is how they, try to send subliminal message about being surveilled, right? Your phone is bugged or what have you. Okay, because again, her phone is in her bag and it was off, right? And this happened before too. And again, they're trying to jog back memories because certain things that they did, and I know now, again, they talk about the power of association. So again, they're always testing your memory, right? So, this is what, they do. Okay. So anyhow, um, like I said, after I spoke with her, guess what? He had the police sirens. And actually, before that, before when I got up to look at my phone, right? Um, and I saw that she called. I'm like, I didn't. How come my phone didn't ring? As soon as I looked at my phone, and went to call her back, the police sirens outside. So they like I said, a lot of times they are accessing our phone, right? Not just my phone, but the people that I know, hacking into their phone, doing things like this, right? This is some of the most egregious violation of people's rights and people's privacy. All right, and like I said, I say these things and people may not want to believe me. But in America, there is no such thing as privacy. There's privacy. There's a law that talks about privacy. We all have, as people here, we all have a right to privacy, but we don't have privacy. We don't. We are under the illusion that we have some sort of privacy or we have some sort of civil rights and human rights and all this stuff. No, we don't, because at any time, if these people are put in power, the vast majority of them, right? You will see the reality, if now for what it is. Right now we just living under the illusion. Okay, but like I said, these people have infiltrated every organization, every business, government agencies, what have you. Like I said, I play Fortnite, which I love to play, and you know, it's they're in there. They're like we all know in Fortnite where you have like if you're playing by yourself, you can call up your defend. You can put your defenders when you build your defense to protect what have you, like whether it be the van or whether it be the Atlas, whether it be the the armory and the launcher, actually the launcher, right? These are certain different kind of missions. Okay, and so if you're playing by yourself and you have help by you have what is called these defenders. So as you play the Save the World campaign, you accumulate abilities, right, points and stuff like that, and then you accumulate like defenders, survivors, and what else? Who else? Heroes, right? And your defenders, when you can place them to help defend your whatever defense you build around your whatever it is that you're trying to protect, and they'll literally hack the entire server because I'm playing by myself, where I can't even put a defender to defend um, my you know uh, my defense system, to protect the Atlas or what have you. But like I said, this is what they do. And again, when you look at social media. You have people from the CIA, ex-CIA agents working in these companies, even in game companies, in the movies. The American Secret Service Agency, the CIA, has embedded agents, and though they may not be working for them officially, but in an unofficial capacity, they are working for them, right? So there was an interview I think I was watching where there's this guy he was saying that, yeah, he was saying if you're making certain movies that they have to make America favorable in the eyes of the rest of the world, right? In particularly if they're going to use the military or use like let's say a war movie or a movie like Top Gun, Maverick, which is an amazing movie by the way. I saw it on Amazon Prime, and I said to myself, I gotta watch this again. It was amazing. All right, so I got a shout out to Tom Cruise because man, he was excellent in that movie, right? And by the way, I've never watched any of the Creed movies, so I gotta watch. I said to myself, I gotta watch Creed 3 because of Jonathan Majors. But then all the stuff happened. They're attacking black men in such a way they don't want any black movie star, right? Ascending to like mega status. Okay, so they already got rid of Chadwick Boseman. All right, let me tell you, uh, his when he had cancer, prostate cancer, and it was such a developed such a short span and was so rapid, right, to where they couldn't do anything for him, right? And I talk about how these technologies how they can cause cancer, right? Just go read the report about American embassy workers in Russia, right? So we see that when it's a strong masculine black man playing the role of a strong masculine black man, they're striking back hard against that type of image. Okay, so but yeah, just wanted to give you guys update on this stuff and you know let you guys know that hey, this is still happening. It doesn't stop, and like I said, I just reacted, in a way because of my experience in this program and what has been done. That I know what's going on. I know that when the kid's mother called me in a situation and my phone doesn't ring, and all of a sudden her phone stopped working, and I can't get through to her in a situation like this. I know that they're jamming our phones. Okay. All right. So talk to you guys in the next video.